Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. My name's Matt Boothman, and I am your keeper for this studio production. I'm joined for this Backstage episode by the cast of that production.
Hello, hello. I'm Marta de Silva, and today I am playing with the Watcher in the Wings faith sheet.
Hello, everyone. I'm Binar. I am very, very excited to be here, and I am playing a Poxmartyr.
Oh, hiya. Hello, my name is Fiona Katie Howard. You can find me on one of my rolling, but yeah, I've been on here as well with lots of different one-shots and stuff for like The Queen is Dead and also Galactic as well, which I think that's when I first met you, Marta, as well. We played that game together a long time ago.
Yes.
And yeah, today, friends, I am playing with the face sheet, the Waxen Scrivener.
Let's find out a little bit more about what all of these faith sheets mean and a little bit about why you chose them. Because that's the subject of today's Backstage episode. We are creating the characters for the story that we're going to tell. Marta, do you want to just read us the little Watcher in the Wings blurb at the top of the sheet, first of all, and give people a bit of an idea of what it's all about?
This reads, Faith sheet, the Watcher in the Wings. Mr. Marrow, last one onto the stage, old lights up, the falling curtain. Right now, there is a god watching you. Every word you utter, every movement and expression is being weighed, critiqued, discussed by 1,000 whispering voices in the darkness. You, the chosen performer, bear a heavy burden, for only you know the true weight of your words. Others don't yet realize the significance of the part they play in this world, of the consequences should the performance be found lacking. But you can show them true magic, if they listen. Pray that they listen, and play their parts well, for every moment counts. Places, everyone. Lights up.
So the Watcher in the Wings is a god who thrives on spectacle, feasting on the drama and tragedy of human lives. Throughout the game, you are going to charm and sway other characters with your presence and dramatically alter reality itself through your performance.
Love it. That's awesome.
So this sounds powerful, Marta, but it also sounds sort of like that anxiety dream where you're up on stage and you don't know the lines. Why did you want to play a follower of the Watcher in the Wings?
Oh, I just, every time I come back to this, there's more layers to it that I enjoy. Number one, because obviously for those who don't know, I played an actual character in the show that this game is based on, who kind of mimics some of this, like their relationship with reality and their words is something that is weighty. Let's say she does walk around and changes things just by speaking. But then as an actor myself, I love the meta side of this and how much you can play with it. And also, it feels weirdly and somewhat concerningly like a reflection of how we now live our lives online and how the digital space seems to be like a performance world where everything is basically a performance, and you have countless voices whispering and observing you and judging your performance, i.e. your life. And if you are not entertaining enough, and if you make a mistake, and etc., things can get really dire. So I feel like
the Watcher in the Wings is the comment section.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just theater. It's like literally social media made into a god. So yeah, there's so many layers about it that I feel are really, really interesting and that I just want to play around with. And I have so many opinions about this stuff in the real world. So I thought, what better place to deal with all that that on a table.
Heck yeah.
B, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Poxmartyr?
Alrighty. The Poxmartyr, also known as Brother Boyle and Sister Sore, and It Should Have Been Me. Monks of the Wretchman's Order practice a radical form of self-sacrifice by ritually transferring the ailments of others into their own bodies. These pox monks can be found throughout the territories, but especially in rural places without hospitals or access to modern medicine. By many accounts, faith alone can heal. And who could question the conviction of a healer willing to take on the worst ailments themselves?
So the Poxmartyr is a god of self-sacrifice whose monks heal others by literally taking their suffering upon themselves. And they view each affliction as a blessing to learn from. So throughout this session, you're going to take on the illnesses of other characters, either Marta's and Fiona's character or like side characters that we meet. to give yourself advantages and then draw on the connections that you make with people everywhere you go. Why this faith sheet, B?
Because I think it's really interesting. For those of you who don't know, I have also been in the Silt Verses with Marta, and the Pox Martyrs seem like one of the very few like benevolent orders, and that's a really interesting thing to play with in a world that's very, very cruel. And frankly, I've never played this faith sheet. I've played this game a couple of times, and this is just such an interesting angle from a mechanic's perspective and from like a quote unquote morality perspective. I don't know. I think it's a really interesting, and I thought it'd be a fun contrast for these two. Honestly, I picked my faith sheet last because I was like, I want to see what they're doing. So
There you go.
yeah, I don't have anything as cool as what Marta said. I just thought
Oh.
it would be neat.
Me. I mean, we can be honest with everyone. We played one session of this game some time ago, and I'm playing the literal same character. Like there've been some tweaks in the years in between, but it's essentially the same character. So I had a long time to think about this.
It's
I'm
interesting, though.
obsessed.
I think it's interesting that we've got our two Silt Versus audio drama alumni here, and Marta is choosing like the faith sheet that is kind of closest to her actual character, and then the Pox Martyr is millions of miles away from Brother Faulkner.
That was also part of
I'm
the
not gonna
choice.
spoil anything because I know Fiona hasn't listened to all of the show yet.
I'm at episode 7 of season 1. I'm getting there.
Self-sacrificing is not a word I would
Yeah,
use.
I was like, selflessness? Never met her. No.
Don't know her, actually. Sounds
Sorry.
fake.
Fiona, tell us now about the Waxen Scrivener, please.
The 8-limbed Scrivener, the black beetle of knowing and forgetting, and the endless inkwell. So, followers of the Waxen Scrivener devote their lives to the recording of knowledge, scribbling down every keen insight, every tantalizing observation onto sheets of parchment or in old journals, then abandoning it. They leave their wealth of pages to rot in the back rooms of old Vermidius bookshops and dank ancestral libraries. Some even cultivate colonies of rats, bookworms, and paperflies for the purpose of destroying the pages. The sacred act is putting down pen to paper, and that's the sacrifice the Scrivener requires. And knowledge, like skin, must be shed to be renewed.
So the Waxen Scrivener is a god of knowledge, but specifically of collecting knowledge and letting it be forgotten again. So in this session, Fiona, you are going to use ritual ink to uncover prophecies through your writing, and sometimes even a little bit overlapping with Marta's playbook here, sometimes even writing things into being.
Ooh.
Fiona, what drew you to this this faith sheet?
Now, obviously, as we all know, that I'm also in the Silt. No, I'm not in the Silt Versus compared to the other two. I'll be honest. I always am a big fan of like characters who, the question of knowledge and the power it has, especially right now in the world, where people are banning books and all that sort of thing. But actually, the real drive for it, as always, is like the names of these countries. I was drawn to Wax and Scrivener because I think they're two really interesting words put together. And this is where I'll be corrected now. But I believe Scrivener is a word for like carving or writing or something on whalebone. And I always thought that was really interesting. And I'd read a D&D module ages ago which talked about like a town in a place called Icewind Dale where there was a Scrivener's shop. But there was nothing else about the shop. There was nothing untoward or anything like that. And I just thought the idea of going into a shop, like a gift shop, that's thousands of these whalebones that I've got carved, like almost like greeting cards, like Merry Maximus or whatever, just everywhere. I just thought that was so eerie and odd. And yeah, I just thought Scrivener was just a really cool word. So I was like, And then I saw it here and I was like, well, I'll get this and see where it takes me.
Sometimes that's all it takes to make the mind up.
Yeah, it's really cool. Also, if I remember my D&D lore, my Forgotten Realms Toral lore, Icewind Dale is in the middle of the fucking mountains in the north, very far away from any body of water. This is where Dritz Warden and Verona and all that stuff is set. Because I haven't played D&D very much, but I've read every novel published under the Forgotten Realms title. Every single one. Took a long time, and they don't write them anymore. So I had some years to catch up. Thank you, Hasbro. But yeah, how did they get them there?
Yeah, it's very weird. There's like frozen lakes and stuff, but yeah, whalebone.
No
whales.
Definitely
maybe
no
it's
whales.
sky whale.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we look down. We're no, you need to look up.
Frost sky whales.
It's all those Spelljammer space whales popping into
That's what it
existence in the
was.
mountains.
It's like crashing down. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of character creation in the Silk versus RPG, is just picking your faith sheet. That it has a huge influence over the character you end up playing. There are some quite simple other elements that we can add. Basically, we all need a name, a style, a personal ritual, something that these characters do to reinforce or remember their complicated faith. And you have an array of starting ability scores that always start the same, but you get to add 1 to one of them, depending on what you want your character to be like. So who already knows what character they want to play and has picked options, and who is picking on the recording today?
I think me and Marta both know our characters pretty well at this.
I was going to say, Marta, you said that you're playing a character that you've played in a previous session.
Yeah, I mean,
so...
I tweaked it. It's not exactly the same, but the general gist of it.
Had a couple years to
Is
think
the
about your
same.
character. A couple years of prep.
Podcast lead times are mad.
Perfecting it.
Well, do you want to tell us some of those details you've established then, Marta?
Sure, yeah. So my character goes by the name of Nim Harrow, they, them, and they have a fairly interesting style, very sort of recognizable profile or outline, if you wish, or at a distance. They wear a large, almost curved windbreaker, sort of thick rain repellent coat thing. It looks vaguely military. It's well kept. It's clearly oiled, but it's also worn. And they wear this almost all the way to like half up their calf. And then all you can see under that is ripped jeans and Doc Martens, because all my characters have to wear Doc Martens everywhere. And so from a distance, they look kind of owlish. They almost look like a bit of an owl sort of shape. The most significant element of their appearance is, however, a ceramic inari mask. And an inari is basically a fox deity from Japan. They tend to be quite stylized. They can be made in a variety of ways, and they tend to look both menacing and kind of puckish, because foxes, Inari specifically, this deity, is known for being a bit of a trickster, a bit two-faced and untrustworthy, even though sometimes they are willing to help human beings. A lot of the time, they also cause a bit of mayhem. So you only see really this ceramic white mask with like a slant of a smiley face and two really sharp fox eyes, and behind it pure white hair that is up in a kind of, I don't even know what the technical name, maybe you guys do, the technical name for this updo. You know, the hipster sort of half shaved and then a ponytail up man bun situation? What do we call that?
Man bun's all I
You're
got. I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah, so
That's all it is.
yeah, the bottom half of her head towards her neck is just shaved, really short, and then the rest of her hair is up in like a little man bun, but it's a long ponytail, and it's all just full on white mask, white hair.
Super striking look.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Interesting, like these characters are the existence of custodians, which is what all of your characters are, is kind of a known thing in the world. Like they are publicized. The Bureau does let the public know, and there is a kind of propaganda exercise about like rehabilitating people who've broken faith and that kind of thing. But there's like a Saturday morning cartoon propaganda style to it, and like all of these posters, do your part kind of posters, doing this very unrealistic portrayal of what people can expect custodians to be like. And then for this unsettling, masked, owlish figure to show up in your town.
Absolutely terrifying.
Honestly, like, I'm obsessed. As soon as you started, I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this person already.
Yeah, it's an image I've had in my head for a long time, because I just love the idea of someone, you know, and especially that the tilt of the head and how like the expressiveness of it and how theatrical it is as well. Because I was inspired by No theatre, so I was like, I want to do something with that. And
the fox imagery is just kind of perfect as well for somebody who like, for somebody to have the power to potentially kind of speak things into reality and also be a little bit of a puckish trickster with it. That is scary in a very Salt versus way.
Yeah.
And I would say foxes are my favorite creature. So anytime someone goes, I'm like, oh, yes. So I'm instantly in it. To the point where when I turn to my partner and I'll say something and he'll repeat after me, I'm like, foxes are my favorite animal. I once saw one in London and I thought it was the cutest thing. And he will just repeat that back to me because, yes, I know you love foxes. So I'm like,
great taste.
Shout. Yes,
on that, we
taste.
can agree. Foxes are some of my favorite animals.
Yes.
And Japan does have an obsession with them, and I approve. Yeah. I love it. It's fantastic.
What do you want to do with your ability scores? So we have 5 scores in the Silt versus RPG. Vitality, which is all your sort of physical strength and can you run, jump and climb trees. Focus, which is about kind of keeping your cool. Insight, which is like the stat that you will use when like looking up stuff in books or records and that kind of thing. Presence, which is your interpersonal charisma and that kind of thing. And then communion, which you will use mostly when dealing with actual divinity. There's a standard array that all characters start with, but you get to add 1 to one of them. So which of those 5 stats would Nim like to boost?
I'm one of those who likes to have like a balance sheet as opposed to good players who are like, oh, dump this, and add a lot to these. So I think I'm going to add 1 to presence. Sorry, communion. Sorry, gods.
That sounds right for the character you've described.
Yeah. Truly. So I end up with 0 vitality, 1 focus, 1 insight, 1 presence, and -1 communion.
You got it.
Me and my god, it's a complicated situationship,
This is the thing with all Powered by the Apocalypse games. Low stats don't necessarily mean you're bad. They just mean that more interesting things are likely to happen when you roll with that stat.
Yeah.
So name is Jasper Finch, he, they. Got this like prayer shawl that is clearly very like well loved and frequently repaired, these little circular spectacles, and there's maybe like a little bit of tape on one of the eye things because it's been broken a couple times, and a forager's pouch that's filled with don't worry about it, just don't worry about it. It's not a very big person, weirdly unassuming. I think maybe especially the contrast with Nim and Jasper is very like, you don't even see this dude at all.
It's like the stagehand off to one side.
Very much. Yes, kind of scuttly, pockmarked cheeks, definitely got some unusual looking scars as most pocksmarters do.
Love to have contrast right from the beginning. What would you like to do with your ability scores? Which one of them would you like to be higher than the sheet says?
I'm a filthy min-maxer. So I looked and saw what I rolled with for my main ability. So we're going +1 vitality.
So we're getting that 0 up to a 1 for the vitality.
Yep.
Fiona, is this sparking anything for you?
Oh, you betcha. I've gone for first name Billy with IE at the end, and Fletcher, she, her. And in terms of how I imagine this person, I like how, like, we've got these what seem very, very cool, like, characters like Poxmark and, like, cool theatre stuff. And I'm there going, like, have you heard the good word about reading? So I've made in my head what I assume I would be like if I was a librarian. So it is a floral button-down shirt. So I'm a fun librarian, guys. Hair up in a bun of some sort, but loose, because, we don't want to be too strict. A bit of hair out of order, but not too out of order, because that's just organised chaos. She has glasses on, not the stereotypical big ring ones, but definitely a good size one. But of course, they have the cool sort of like what my dad would call like idiot chains, but they're actually really cool chains with like various different beads and stuff like that. So they jangle a little bit as she sort of walks about. I would say she is fairly short and wears skirts and tights and stuff like that, but she tries to be not fashionable, that's not the word I'm thinking of, but definitely like it's a bit eye-catching. And then as soon as you start talking to her, you go, oh no, it's the teacher in disguise. I thought she was cool, and I think she is cool. And she also has like noticeably, she'll have long sleeve on, but you can see that she's got various bracelets on, which you think at first you think they're sort of friendship beaded bracelets, but they're a bit more intricate than that. So these are the protection bracelets that she has on, and all of the beads are individually sort of marked in some way. to sort of, again, denote that she is a follower of the waxen scrivener.
Wow, what a motley crew.
Yep.
Yep.
This spooky no performer and a sort of scuttling stagehand type, and then a cool librarian.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Love
It's like it's nice that they get out for a day, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
just glad to be here with them as a sort of their carer. That's what it feels like.
Especially in communities that are expecting the Planeteers from Captain Planet to rock
Mhm.
up.
Gosh,
This is what you
yeah.
get.
100%.
Sorry.
What do you want to do with your ability scores, Fiona?
Well, I'm gonna again buck the trend again. I'm gonna put a 1 into insight. So it's gonna be 0 for vitality, 1 for focus, 2 for insight, 0 to presence, and 1 to communion. Because I was thinking like she's a cool librarian, but in the sense of then you start talking about, oh no, it's just a facade. I'm trapped. So that there wasn't gonna be anything into presence. And I've never seen a buff librarian. I'm sure there are buff librarians out there, but I don't. I'm not throwing books at people. So I thought I'd just use that knowledge and really focus it in.
She lives off apples, let's be real.
Yeah,
Could
exactly.
be like,
So
here's an
true.
apple.
God, again. Okay.
Ugh, I hate
Ugh.
this stuff.
Yeah, it's not even one of the good ones. It's a pink lady. Damn it.
Get 'em, Fiona.
Getting the tea on the apples.
Yeah, that's about as strong as her opinions go on it. It's like
She really worries that is going to get her cancelled.
Yeah, I can't say it out loud because pink lady supporters out there. Oh,
Big apple.
Yeah.
oh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's probably an actual god.
That's probably real.
That's so sad.
Speaking of gods, let's talk about personal rituals. In terms of how these work in gameplay, this might not even come up, but they're an interesting sort of insight into the characters and what's important to them. So it's always nice to come up with. So each character has this personal ritual, which mechanically they can do when they're on a journey to clear a condition. But it's sort of a way that you reconnect with your faith, which has become complicated in your life.
So yeah, this is an interesting one because I know it's like personal ritual, but there's so much cultural context to the stuff I'm doing, and I feel clarification is in need. So another thing that I've taken from Japan, I'm so sorry, I'm not Japanese, but I do speak the language and I've lived there a bit, so, not completely out of left field. Shinto specifically and Buddhism as well have these, I guess we could call them talismans. You find them in Korea and China as well. They tend to be pieces of paper, cloth or metal, sometimes wood, where there is inscriptions, calligraphy, some kind of writing. And these talismans can be used for protection. They can be used to expel bad spirits. They can be used to harm. They have all sorts of uses. And if you've played things like Silent Hill, etc., you've probably come across something like this. So I had an idea for Nim's personal ritual. She basically, the saying of blood, sweat, and tears. So she can create her talismans with blood, sweat, and or tears.
Wow.
Her own specifically, usually on pieces of fabric. And once those are made, she'll sort of write her words on them with whatever effect she wants them to cause in the world. And then she can sort of stamp them onto surfaces and they kind of burn up and get seared forever into the thing and become invisible to the naked eye. But that's kind of her thing. Is that clear enough? I don't know if it's a bit. Yeah. Okay.
This is what this person does to relax.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So you can carry them as cloth until you actually use them. You can have them on you. They're sort of portable. But once you want the effects to actually take place, you need to kind of put them on somewhere and let the burning in happen.
just in the back of the van. You're like, how's Nim doing? They're just busy just now. Okay, we'll check in with them later.
I hope this doesn't undermine how cool it is, but it does remind me of people who've got stacks of stickers that they will just stick on every kind of junction box and sign that they go past.
It's a form of tagging, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Who can beat that?
Okay, so I'll tell you, I was looking because I'm very boring. I normally just pick from the list, and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, there's a scrimshaw. Well, that makes sense. And then I read further and I was like, reading a thesaurus, and I was like, yep, that's locked in.
It's a well-written game with good pick lists. So
I'm a big fan of the random tables and pick lists. But yeah, I like the idea that she just has this massive book. And like the thing is that it's like one that is clearly been taken out of the library, and there's like the little slip in the front. And I think like whenever she takes it out, she writes in it, and I think you could tell the times that she is literally taking it out for herself. She's like it has like the library of Billy Fletcher, like one of those horrific stamps that you put in the front. And I think most of this book like is full of like scribbles and stuff, but I think she goes through it, and then every so often she'll make an annotation and write a new word
She's
into
one
the
of
thesaurus.
those. She annotates her books.
Yes,
I see.
and adds to the thesaurus. Which
I
is that,
see.
Yeah.
what does
Does
that?
she
Oh,
dog ear?
interesting.
Does she turn the corners down?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of little post-it notes and dog-eared, like, and she'll do the licking of the finger and pull the pages over. The book probably tastes or something. We don't know what. No one else has tried to taste it. But it's yeah, it's definitely a distinctive look to this book.
This is kind of reminding me of, from a completely different section of the podcasting world, the end of every episode of The Allusionist, where Helen Zaltzman flips through her dictionary and reads a randomly selected word from the dictionary, and that's how she signs off her episodes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. So yeah, I absolutely that's what I had in mind.
Brilliant.
Yeah, whilst we have like Nim like just like crossing these things every so often, I'm like, oh, blustery, and just like random words like that.
That's amazing. That's the whole thing, though. Isn't there like a word of the day situation?
Yeah.
Calendars
Word
with
of-
like a
Yep.
word of the day, and that's how you
Self-improvement. It's good for
expand
your
your
memory. and-
vocabulary. Yeah.
Oh my
Brilliant. I
God.
love it.
Does she check it out to herself? Is that what you were saying? Like she stamps a little checkout to herself?
Yeah, so she knows when the last
I
time she took
love
the book
that.
out. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad.
What's your personal ritual be?
It is patchwork. I also picked from the pick list because I love the pick lists here. And I feel like it's actually the act of sewing, and it doesn't have to be cloth, it can be skin.
She casually
good to know.
says.
Yeah, it's like it's not like, you know, everything can be sewn if you believe in yourself and you
Yeah.
have the right equipment.
I mean, leather is technically skin.
Exactly. And you know, like sometimes skin is just leather you're still wearing. And you know,
Someone's playing Victor Frankenstein or some kind of Frankenstein. You are, by the way, congratulations. Just putting it in there. But yeah, I'm like, sewing skin.
sewing. Exactly. Listen, sometimes I have to sew people up maybe a little bit, like it's some Pioneer Doctor stuff, or myself, or like my shawl, or I put a button back on. You know, we have the dichotomy of
Ooh.
man.
Restoring things back to health, repair. It's
Exactly,
very,
it's
very on
repair.
theme. You know, repair that's also body horror, extremely on theme.
Yeah.
And it might, you know, like we might like do a cute little pattern, like the mending kind of like you're sewing it up and you do a cute like little flower or something.
Aw.
Oh, that's lovely.
You have those patches in your clothes, and you get that something that is just like a colourful little patch on the thing, but you have that, but it's human skin. It's like,
Yes,
oh,
exactly.
I think it's a face, or is it a cat? You know,
It's so lovely. I mean, to be
Oh.
fair, I could be completely wrong, but don't surgeons practice their surgery stitches on pig skin?
I believe so. Yeah, and tattoo artists do the same
And
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
'cause
synthetic skin, but what used to
But,
be
like,
pig.
maybe now it's synthetic, but once upon a
So, like-
time it was probably either corpses or pork, you know, pig skin.
Absolutely.
You know, it's important as a doctor to know how to do that. Yes.
So kind of you to call me a doctor.
on a complete other side note, today's word of the day from the Merriam-Webster is repertoire. So I just thought that'd be yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
All of your faith sheets also come with a move that you start with. So there are basic moves in this game that everybody does, and then you all have a unique move from your faith sheet. So Marta, Nim has a move called All the World's a Stage, where you can act like you're reading a script aloud of the events that are happening in front of you, and if you roll well enough, some of those things will become reality. The others can help you with this to give you +1 to the roll, but if they do so, they also open themselves up to the consequences if you roll badly, which are that you'll take a condition called a disappointment, which is, again, that anxiety dream version of this particular faith
Ooh.
coming
You know,
into...
yeah, the performer's just best friend.
Absolutely. B, you start with, or Jasper starts with a move called Let It Pass Unto Me. So you actually have to modify your character sheet to start with, because everybody else can only ever take 3 conditions. You are allowed to take 6 because your whole faith is about conditions.
Whoa.
So you get to draw a line down the middle of that list so that you have more boxes. And as you've been alluding to, this is the move that lets you take on other people's ailments and illnesses. When you do that with your fellow custodians, you can take their conditions, which helps them. And when you do it to supporting characters, you might discover a clue. Everybody else has a particular way of clearing conditions. Yours is different. We'll get into it if we get there. It's harder for you to clear conditions because you can take so many more of them. And the whole point of the faith sheet is about having a lot of them at once. And then Fiona, Billy starts with a move called paper and ink.
Yes.
We're not going to probably advance in this session. And so the other 2 have got moves that are quite powerful and useful to start with. Paper and ink is a little bit more of a kind of sets a foundation.
Slowly goes, yeah.
Billy has sacred inks. You have a track of boxes that track how much of it you have left. When you run out, you have to make some more. At the moment, the only thing you can do with your sacred ink is help your fellow players write prayer marks and give them advantage on associated rolls with it.
Ooh.
So, would you like to take another move at character creation as well? Or are you happy with only that being what you can do with your paper and ink move?
Ooh, sure. If it's okay with folks, I'd love to take the profane media one. That's exactly what I feel about it. So I'll read it out. So profane media, despite your waning faith, you still find the use of electronic data storage to be profane. Knowledge is meant to be lost. Whenever you destroy a tape, disc, hard drive, memory card, or other piece of electronic data storage equipment, take your next roll at advantage.
Incredible.
Oh my
So
god.
that actually, it doesn't give you any other things to do with your ink track, but if you feel like that gives you more fun stuff to do, then I'm happy for you to
Absolutely.
have that at the start.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm getting an inkling of Amish.
Oh,
Pun intended.
Very
All
good,
puns
very good.
intended.
Yeah.
She's
Very
like,
cool.
what is this? Electronic technology, burn it.
Yeah, I'm just there going like the phone. Yeah, it's like my fingers and my face don't unlock the phone. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake! It's like I look at it weird. Yeah, nothing works for me.
So the audience might have noticed that we haven't talked really at all about these characters' backstory. And that is very much by design. That is one of the rules of the Silt versus RPG, is that we don't know much about these characters at the start. You are allowed, all of you, to have thought about this, and you might have some ideas in your head about where they've come from, why their relationship with their god is so complicated, how they joined the Bureau, all of this kind of stuff. But by the written rules of this game, you're not allowed to tell any of us that stuff unless the game tells you to. So there will be specific points in the game where you are allowed to talk about your backstory, and that is one of the things that we're exploring in the game. So we're not going to talk about any of that. The last thing we're going to do this episode is you have a set of end of session questions on your character sheet. Now, we're only doing one session, so we're not actually going to gain any XP or level up in this session. But what you would normally do is there are 2 questions on that list that are always marked, and then you pick 2 others to mark. And if you can answer yes to those questions at the end of the session, you might get some XP for it. Like I say, XP isn't going to matter in this session because we're only playing one session with these characters, but I think it might be fun to just pick some questions anyway, because it might give you a sense of direction to role play in if you're ever stuck. Ones that are always marked are: did the custodians complete an assignment? And did you engage with a god, angel, or other divine manifestation? There are 5 other questions you can pick from. Is anybody drawn to any of those extras?
I've gone ahead and I've picked, did you deliver a monologue about any of the following? And there's like nature of gods, the futility of individual choices in the face of indifferent powers, the horrors that society accepts as good and necessary. And the reason I picked that I like the idea that we've got two very out there characters that both be in Martyr, and I'm at the back, and maybe I'm just lecturing a little bit, and no one is listening as a result. They're like, yeah. And I was like, but it's very important that we must give them the choice, but then realize that the choices don't mean anything. They're like, yep, bye. I've got the money. Yeah, I've got to go to the shops. And then on top of that, I've also picked, did you struggle with your personal faith? Because I think that's always really interesting in games like this, especially with this idea of knowledge being lost, but then with that profane media stuff, like obviously we have so much of it. It's accessible everywhere. It's, you get 24/7, cloud storage, all that sort of thing. So people do have knowledge. So it's like maybe the person that is gaining knowledge and then losing it is actually themselves coming superfluous, you know? So.
Hey, you can't mark the box for giving a monologue now, Fiona.
Damn it! Damn it, you saw right through me.
This is perfect. They're like everything you were describing about this is the character that seems sort of friendly and inoffensive. And then as soon as you start talking to them, she starts giving you the spiel.
You're like, damn it.
Like this drives you towards giving the spiel, which is lovely.
Yes.
I can't explain why in detail just yet, because one of these decisions ties into this character. But I will not be picking, did you deliver a monologue? I will also go with, did you struggle with your personal faith? And actually, quite interestingly, were you vulnerable with someone?
Very nice. That's a really interesting one to explore for the walled off masked character.
Yeah.
That's very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to see the mask off at some point.
Vulnerable. Will they be vulnerable, etc.?
What is vulnerability when you're masked? Like, what does that mean? So I've got, did you undermine the orders of your superiors or use the assignment to pursue personal interests? Because
I'm so glad at least one person has picked that.
I have to. Nobody else did, and I was like, somebody's gotta. And also, I just think that's an interesting thing to explore is like the quote unquote benevolent faith. What is a personal interest? What does undermining the superiors look like? And did you go out of your way to connect with the local community? Because that's sort of like the whole steez of this person, technically.
Yeah.
No shame in picking a question you think is going to be easy for you to say yes to.
Exactly. I was like, that just seems like it also gives me an excuse to talk to NPCs because I like to do that as a player.
Good.
So I was
you do all
ready,
of that.
Matt. Yeah, get ready, Matt.
That's like the worst thing for me. I'm like, no, let someone else do the talking.
While you just stand there and look scary.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. I'm excited to see how these characters play together. There is another extra little bit of character creation that we will also do in a future Backstage episode. But for now, we are ready to take the stage.
Repertoire.
Lights up. Places. 5 minutes.
Places, please.
This has been It Feeds on Fire, a studio production from Merely Roleplayers, starring Marta da Silva as Nim Harrow, B. Nar as Jasper Finch, and Fiona K.T. Howard as Billy Fletcher. I'm Matt Boothman, and I play the supporting cast. The theme music is by me, and I edited and produced this episode. We were playing The Silt vs. Role-Playing Game by Gabriel Robinson and Jason Cordova, and published by The Gauntlet. The game is based on The Silt vs. audio drama by John Ware and Muna Hussain. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, the show must go on.
was like,
know what
Marta,
you're
you looked
doing.
like you had ideas, unless you
Oh,
want me to
I was
go.
genuinely thinking about something completely
Oh,
related. It's related to the game. I'm trying to name an institution. And like no one
That's
can beat John Ware in terms of that. And I was like,
Oh,
how do
God.
I create a name that fits this universe, but is also, yeah.
Foggy outline.